Hello everyone, this is Janet, and I am sitting down today to do my budget reset for 2026. So we're going to go back through all the envelopes. We're basically restarting everything as far as my savings plan goes. We had some extra expenses this year that we really didn't count on. So it wiped out everything that we had. Thank God we had it to begin with, or we would have been in some real trouble. But like I said, we're starting over. I did have a 100 envelope savings challenge going that I have finished, and I have moved that over into my emergency envelope. So we're going to start with this one. And this is what we're doing today. This is my bi-weekly budgeting envelopes, my cash envelopes that I stuff. And when I go and do my grocery shopping or anything like that for the week, this is where the money comes from after I put it in here. And this helps keep me on track, because once the money's gone from these envelopes, then I know we don't have any left to spend on those things. So it actually works really well for me, and I do recommend it. If you're someone like me who needs motivation, who needs help keeping on track, these really work well for that. So this is what we've decided that we're going to try for this year. For groceries, we're going to put in 200. Gas, we're putting in 100. Pet food, 100. Spending, 100, although we're not doing that right now. And miscellaneous is also going to get 100. Now, my miscellaneous envelope is basically a catch-all for all the other envelopes that we have here. If I go grocery shopping and I've spent the money that I have allotted, but I see something that's on sale that I really want and it's a really good buy, that's going to come out of miscellaneous. If we go and fill up the car with gas, and gas is more expensive than we expected, that's also going to come out of miscellaneous. Anything extra that we spend that's not already covered in these categories is going to come out of miscellaneous. I didn't want to do an envelope for every little thing, because I don't know what the expense is going to be. I don't know what's going to come up or where the extra is going to go. So miscellaneous just catches everything, and that seems to work well for me. So we're going to start these. I've already done the gas, so that's in the van and we don't need to worry about it. So we're going to take 200 and we're going to put in for groceries. And this is for a 2-week period. And gas is done. Pet food, we need 100 in here. And we'll get that going. And spending, we are skipping right now. We have just gone through Christmas. Today is actually December 31st. It's New Year's Eve. And I wanted to get this started and out of the way so that I'm starting fresh for 2026. So spending right now is not a priority. We don't really need anything. We just got all the stuff we wanted for Christmas. We just did quite a bit of spending on our own. So we're going to leave that for now. If something comes up that we really want or really have to have, we'll take that from another area, or we'll put it off until the end of the month maybe. Miscellaneous is going to get the last 100, because we always need a little bit of extra coming out of something. And anything that is left over in the miscellaneous envelope at the end of the month is going to be moved over into my emergency fund envelope. So that's it for the bi-weekly. So we'll move that over here. This one is my sinking funds. These are what I've decided are going to be my sinking funds for 2026. I have an emergency fund already started. I used a 100 envelope savings challenge, and I put a $10 bill in every envelope instead of the regular $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 that you would normally put in. I just went with the 10 in every envelope. So when I was done, I had $1,000, and that is my emergency fund, and that's going to carry over. That's what we have so far. This is the third time this year that I have actually filled this envelope. because we keep having some sort of an emergency. First it was car repairs, then it was an emergency pet surgery, and you never know what is going to come and take the money, but at least we had it to take. So even though I was very sad that it was being used constantly and I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere, at least the money was there. We accomplished major things with the money that we had in there, which is why the envelopes are all empty and I only have $1,000 in here. We should have had a lot more than that. But like I said, a lot of it got used for other things. So right now, I have 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to add 100 to that. So we're going to build on that 1,000, and I'm hoping that I can put in 100 every month, maybe more, depending on what's left over in my miscellaneous envelope. Or if we have extra income coming in that we're not expecting for any reason. We're really working on building this emergency fund because this is something that gets used regularly. And I hate to say it, but I'm glad that we have it in there so that we can use it. It's not money that we're actually putting away for savings. This is meant for emergencies. So it will get used. There will, maybe in a month or two, maybe 2 weeks from now. I have no idea when the next emergency is going to pop up, but we're going to put as much in there as we can and continue on. I'm actually going to start each one of these off for the new year with $100. So we're putting in 100 in savings. And I also have Christmas is going to get $100. Vacation. I'd like to be putting all the money in the vacation envelope, but that's not how this works. But I would really love to go on a vacation. Okay. And then we have vet expenses. Okay, and car repair. The two things that wiped out all of my savings this year. So we might actually have to adjust what we're putting into these guys over the course of the year. I have several pets. They're all pretty healthy. Like I said, this was an emergency surgery that just popped up. It's not something like an ongoing sickness or anything. But you never know. You have no idea what is going to happen right out of the blue. And I don't know if 100 a month is going to be able to cover that. Again, with car repairs, no one knows. You could take the car into the garage and come out with a $2,500 repair bill. If you're lucky, it's only $5 or $6. But these days, everything is just so expensive. Car parts have gone through the roof. So anytime you need to replace a part, the price is just outrageous. So these are the things that we're going to concentrate on for our sinking funds for this year. These are the things that are important to me. I am also going to build savings in other places as well. So we're going to put 100 a month in here in our savings, but I also have another booklet I'm going to show you in a minute for savings. So we're going to move this one off to the side. We're going to start with this little one over here. This is a 100 envelope savings. This is the same one that I did in 2025 that got me my emergency fund of $1,000. Last year, I put in $10 bills. So when I was finished, I had $1,000. This year, I am working on $20 bills. So we've got 2 so far that we're putting in. So I'm going to mark these first 2 off. And I love these. These are reusable. You can use them as long as your envelopes hold up, you can continue to reuse them over and over and over again. I have given these to family members as gifts to start saving in. To me, this is an excellent way of just putting away a little. You can put a $5 bill in here if you want to. It's totally up to you. You can customize it to your budget. You can make it work for whatever you think you need and can afford to do. So this one is going to take me a little longer because they are $20 bills instead of 10. But I'm hoping that by the end of the year, I can get this finished. And this is going to be our actual vacation spending money. So that when we get our vacation envelope money, that's what we're going to spend on the actual vacation. Be it a cruise, be it a trip somewhere, plane tickets, whatever is going to come out of that. This is just going to be for spending money. So we've started that with a couple of 20s in the first two envelopes. So by the time we finish this, we'll have $2,000. And hopefully it goes well, because I would really like to go on a vacation. I'm looking at probably spring of 2027, actually, because it's going to take us a while to save some money. And the other 100 envelope savings, like I said, I love these. So this one is going to be basically for my 6-month emergency fund. The emergency fund that I have over here is for small emergencies that just pop up out of the blue. This one is going to be if you have a major emergency where you are hurt and you can't work, where your income stops for a month or 2 months or 3 months. That's what this is for. This is going to be a $10,000 fund when it's finished. I am going to put $100 bills in here. I have 4 to start with. And I haven't been to the bank yet, but there are actually 6 more in the bank that I'm going to bring home and put in here next time I get into town. And we'll get this underway. I would like to have this completed by the end of the year. And if we have an emergency that my emergency fund in the smaller booklet doesn't cover, we can take from this. And I will take from this. You have no choice. If you have money in another place, you just have to take it. That's just the way it is when there's an emergency. It's very disheartening sometimes because you don't feel like you're getting very far when you have to keep using it. But on the upside, you had it to use. If it wasn't there in the first place, then you wouldn't have it to use, and you would have to go into debt, or you would have to borrow, or I don't really know. I mean, an emergency is an emergency, so you really can't go without, but you have to find another way. This way, even if you don't have enough to cover the whole emergency, you have some, and some is always better than none. Gives you a place to start from. And sometimes you can come up with other options. You can find something cheaper. I don't know. But I know that I want this filled because this year has been a rough year. It has not gone the way that I had hoped it was going to go. And things are in such turmoil everywhere. Prices are just going up every time you go to a store. The price has changed, and not for the better. So I just want to do as much as I can to be prepared for anything that's going to hit us, because you have no way of knowing. I thought this year, when I first started 2025, I thought it was going to be a great year. Things were looking up. And by March, just at the very beginning of the year, basically, we were already hit with our first huge expense. In July, we got hit with the second one. That wiped out about $6,000 between the two of those, of savings. Anything that I had put away were just gone for things that I didn't foresee and wasn't expecting. So now we're going to expect the unexpected, I guess. We're just going to prepare as best we can for whatever comes. Because what else can you really do? So I've marked off the 400 in here. And like I said, I have another 600 that as soon as I can get to the bank, I will be bringing home and putting in here as well. Those are the booklets that I'm working on right now. This is my plan for this year. And I am going to do the best I can to stick to it. Because in the long run, it really does benefit you. I can't say how happy I was to have something put away, even though it didn't come close to covering everything that we needed. At the time, what we did have was enough to get us through the emergencies that we were hit with. Everybody's different. Everybody's budget is different. You may be able to put away a lot more than me. You may be able to put it away on a weekly basis instead of a bi-weekly or monthly basis, but everybody should be saving for something. There is no one that is not going to have an emergency. There is no one that is not going to have something unexpected happen to them and need extra money for any of the, you never know. I can't even come up with a scenario where someone can get through life without having an unexpected emergency of some kind that is going to be financially devastating. So I think we all should just take stock, try and do a little better with our finances, and start saving, because it has really helped me this last year. These cash envelopes are so motivating. It's a godsend. It helps me keep on track. And I'm not the kind of person, I'm not an overspender as a rule. But if you overspend a little bit in one place and you overspend a little bit in another place, and then a couple of days later you see something that, oh, that's such a good buy, and you overspend a little bit more, by the time your 2 weeks are gone, you've overspent a lot. Not on purpose, not frivolously, but it just happened before you knew it. So that doesn't happen as much with these envelopes. They actually are, to me, as long as you follow the process, it really works well. So it's doing wonders for me. It may help you. So I suggest, if you are trying to get your spending under control, this is a great way to start. If it doesn't work for you, there are so many other things you can try. Something will work for you. Anyway, that's it for me for today. So I'm going to pack this stuff up, and I will be back with you in a few days, probably, once I'm back from the bank. Thanks.